Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for another F1 2018 career mode. For round number 18, the USA GP, today we're going to get into things. We got a 19-point lead in the championship after a tough Japanese Grand Prix. I think that's the only way we can describe it than last time out. But today we're back for another episode of career mode. And yeah, we're going to see what we can do here today. And hopefully we can extend that championship lead to, I don't know, 25 points, hopefully, or something above 25 points, somewhere in that region. Because that would certainly put us a lot closer to the championship with a race, well, with 3 races to go, really. So yeah, we're just going to hope for that. And yeah, you know what? In fact, Daniel Ricciardo is, well, he's only got this race. Otherwise, he would no longer be able to compete for the championship if he does not outscore us this race by enough points. He needs to outscore us by, I believe, at least 4 points. Okay, well, 5 points technically speaking to have a chance of a championship. I know it's probably not going to happen anyway, so yeah, But otherwise, we'll get into things then. Now, before we also get into things, I just want to say my congratulations to Manchester City. If you don't know what happened in the Premier League this season, there's been 2 teams, Liverpool and City, going for the title. Like always, I guess there's always 2 teams that have a real chance. But this season, 2 teams going for the title. And only all season long, really, maximum point difference between the 2 has been really 1 point between the 2 teams. And yeah, Liverpool, one stage did have an advantage, I would say, of about 7 points maximum. But same with City at one stage, and it's now only 1 point between the 2. And City last night won the game against Leicester, which is probably the final last hurdle for for City. Sorry, Manchester. So effectively, I'm not saying they've won it just yet, but they've won it. In other words, in my opinion, they've only got to play Brighton, and realistically, are they going to mess up to Brighton? I would say not really. Brighton, overall, whilst they're a decent side, they don't have the ability to really destroy City's title hopes, I don't think. And it's really just going to be a question of how many goals can City, do well compared to, I guess, Liverpool, I guess, now. But yeah, it's only going to be... It's a shame, because I wanted Liverpool to win the Premier League this season. Personally, myself, I don't know what side of the argument you may be on, but me personally, I certainly had to say Liverpool, because for me, Liverpool, I don't know... I'm not saying I like Liverpool, I'm a Chelsea supporter myself. I know I shouldn't be saying this realistically, but in all honesty, I would like to see Liverpool still win the league, if possible. And I would like to see, Brighton do something to City on the last day of the season. Not because I'm a bad-minded person, but I just feel like Liverpool deserve it. 30 years since their last domestic league title or something like that. It's, it really does break the hearts. And this, I'm not saying this is in the making for Liverpool, but... they've come so close, so far. This is what I would call a perfect season. But then, it's not just then Liverpool that's been perfect. You also have to say City's been perfect. And that's really where you have to say, well, if neither team can be, that's where you have to sort of make a judgment call. Like, I guess for Manchester United supporters, they'll be glad maybe, some of them. But, me personally, I would like City to lose the title and then to Liverpool win it. But yeah, 1 game to go now. 1 point between the 2 clubs. It looks like, it's more or less impossible for, I feel, Liverpool to win the league now. Unless City makes some sort of error that really, really costs them in that final game with 1 game to go. So yeah. Anyway, into today's video. So we're going to get on here with the USA GP. By the way, it'll be either tomorrow or Thursday I'll bring out the new video about, obviously, the Spanish Grand Prix preview. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring that out tomorrow. So yeah, tune in tomorrow, watch out for that video. That obviously will be new, featuring on the channel. And yeah, so obviously, yeah, like always, subscribe, like and share if you're new to the channel, and if you're new to this video, that'd be always very much appreciated. Thank you. And let's get into today. So first lap then, we've just done about 2 seconds off. Not going to use any more flashbacks really in this practice. Just going to try and do what we can do. It can be a very tricky circuit, this, in all honesty. It's not most easiest circuit to get right. So into the key hairpin, that leads to a good straight usually here. And it's a long straight, usually top speeds 210 miles per hour, roughly somewhere in the region of that. Might be a little bit faster now, considering we got a highly upgraded engine package. So going second fastest right now. We start just to get into a rhythm here now. And that's the thing about this circuit, you need a good rhythm here, feel the car. Literally in everything it does. I'm going to use the one flashback here, because I feel like we only just missed that gate, and we were on the racing line. Alright, there we go. I'll set that, the 2 greens. So, just trying to get that purple score right now. It's seeming a bit more difficult than it probably is. Alright, through the final few corners now. So only good enough for green there, so we'll take that anyway, we'll have to anyway. We can rerun program, but I'm not going to. By the way, in the final 2 episodes of this career mode, I'm going to treat you guys a little bit, depending on, well, if we're, well, I will treat you. Basically, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do 50% race, by the way, in the final 2. So basically, you get more or less 100% race in the final 2 races of the season. More or less. So right, just going to put on a setup.
Our best lap so far is a
there we go. So now we're just going to now do. Should we do time management? Like we've done race strategy in the last 2, so we'll do time management today. As we now prepare for this quali. And thing is here, very tricky circuit to set up the car. You sort of have to compromise. You either want to be fast down the straights and in the high-speed corners, or you go for a more slow setup down the straights and fast in all corners. So you sort of got to compromise here between the slow speed and the high-speed stuff. We now do our first lap of this super soft tyre. And it's not too important to hit the apex of turn 1. As long as you get a good, how can you put it, exit off turn 1, you should always be fine. Usually. This is a key apex here, I find. It's key to get a good exit. Really helps your straight. This one does. And keep as much right as possible. Usually, I would suggest here. And then another key apex. Probably the two most important apexes on the circuit. That's it, that's decent. Through final corner. That's okay, we're ahead of our teammate, which is good. Okay, we're behind Alonso, but I'm not too concerned about that. Place will be found somewhere eventually anyway, you know. But yeah, let's now head into quali for today's qualifying. And yeah, Fernando Alonso finishing on top. Okay, the gaps may seem quite a bit alarmingly big, which they are, but, you know, don't just pay attention to that. As I say, sometimes it can be deceiving. Like, I think last session, actually, in Japan, we finished on top in quali, had no problem. Come quali and the race. Sorry about that pause, sort of had a hiccup. But come quali and the race, we sort of, how can you put it, didn't come anywhere close, I suppose, to what we showed in practice. So, yeah, this game can be weird, I guess, at times, but so can practice. And that is sometimes in real life how it goes. You can be slow in practice, or practice times can be very dishonest, compared to, yeah. So, what we're going to do here, we're going to wait till it dries up a little bit, because it is going to be drier towards the end, apparently, in this session. So, we're going to wait till that circuit dries. No point of going out. We'll probably just do 2 laps in a moment's time. We'll just wait till people start doing fastest laps. And now people are starting to go on the super soft, well, the ultra soft tyre. We'll probably do the 1 lap here, because obviously, I don't feel it's worth going out, you know, for 2 laps here. Not enough time, really. So yeah, times should now start be tumbling. Should we go out now, or should we wait? Right, we're gonna go out now, definitely. Right, here we go. So we're going out then for our 1 and only flying lap. So many others around us that's doing 1 flying lap today, so we're sort of all in the same boat, should I say, actually. So it is going to be dry for our final lap anyway, I hope. Cloud coverage is around, so yeah. You know, this will be interesting though, because obviously you don't sort of have that banker lap to set a initial first lap here, then I guess. So we've all sort of got to pray on that 1 lap sort of shot, so just sort of got to get into it. Then so we're going to have to treat this as if it is my 2nd lap, as if I know where the time is to be won and lost. So just getting heat into the tyres right now, so as you can see, so slidey. Like, you know, just got to make sure these tyres are ready for when we come round, because if they're not, well, we're screwed. Right, just heating up the tyres. Not worried about anything else. Pushing a lot on this out lap, because obviously track temp is so much colder than what it should be, and it just means tyres have to work a bit hard on the out lap. So now I'm going to ease back slightly. so we don't have, or so we don't catch Ty in front too much. Right, I'm going now. So time to be a bit quiet now. Oh, that was close.
Sorry about that. Just wasn't our day.
P2 though, I'm actually happy with that. Had to concentrate there. I think we were so close to pole, but you know, I'm really happy actually. 1/10, so we lost about, we almost lost 2/10, but yeah, really happy with that. You know, one lap to make it work, and I think we achieved that goal. So yeah, really happy with that overall. Okay, that one lap. It was actually probably the best lap we've done, you know, and as I said, you know, times can be misrepresenting, but yeah, really happy, you know, about that one lap. I know it's only one lap, but yeah, you know, P2, what can I say? Front row of the grid, you know, best opportunity actually, you know, going into the race. So yeah, just see quickly what race if we can. It's going to be dry throughout the race, so. Yeah, can't be disappointed at that, can we now, boys? P2 on the grid. I don't think that's really a bad position overall. You know, overall that is a really a great achievement, I think. Overall, P2. So right, we're gonna now get into the race. See how we do in the race. Hopefully we can have a good race. Obviously we've got to start on the ultra soft tyre. But yeah, you know, as I say, really happy with that. But yeah, overall objective to win race, like always. But yeah, let's see what we can do then. So up into turn one, just taking the usual out lap. So. Sunny day here in Austin, Texas, I suppose, overall. So it's going to be a lot harder in terms of tyre wear, but we certainly did well, in the quali. So, to be this far up the grid, I think we've earned it, personally, from a personal perspective today.
Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now.
So, just remember, if we obviously outscore Ricardo, or if Ricardo outscores us by 4, he needs 5 points really, he will keep himself in the championship hunt. He can only do that, prevent us from knocking him out, really, of that championship hunt, really, this race. it wouldn't really make too much of a difference in the championship. Alonso, to retake the championship lead, needs to get the race win, which right now he's behind us, so that's one benefit to us. So we don't necessarily have to win this race today, just have to be clever in the way we go about it, I feel, personally. If Vettel wins, you know, good for him, you know, I really don't care anymore, because Vettel can't really win the championship, you see. He's a bit foot too out of contention right now, but yeah. Well, let's see what we can do as we line up in second place for what is the United States Grand Prix, round number 18, then, as we move forward, and we're taking steps towards that championship then. But also Alonso is a hot contender in 4th place as well. We can't rule him off just yet. But nonetheless, so lights come on, it's 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. It's not been the greatest start by us by any means, but Bottas making an okay start. We will certainly have that inside line, which is good here. So we can defend our second position. That was a bit too easy, actually, in terms of defending our second position. But nonetheless, I'll take it. So no real threat then, but not the greatest start. Just allows Vettel to get into a bit more of a rhythm compared to us than at the start then here. Weren't the start I was hoping for. But nonetheless, so through then the first sector we go, heading now down the back straight, or towards the back straight then, into this hairpin section, and this is the crucial exit. If you're close enough, you can get a real good slipstream. Even if you're not go that close enough, as long as you're within DRS range, really, you do pick up a toe here then, as we are just a little bit, but not enough, not long enough this straight is really, to really make any impact on Vettel. As Vettel starts to build a gap, or so he would hope. Right now, laying at 0.7 tenths, so just over half a second of a gap. Then, as we now come around to complete lap 1 of the designated 14 laps here. So lap 1, and Vettel is done fastest lap, just under half a second right, 1 second right now. I've got a similar gap to my teammate Bottas right now as well. So things are okay right now in this car. Not the greatest first sector, certainly by my standards there. As Vettel now just gains a 1 second gap. So Vettel is now out of the DRS range. How much fuel do we have on board? Do have a bit of fuel. Should we run it? I think so. So we're going to run a bit now more fuel, rich mix. Probably run that to pit stop and then we'll put it down to standard. We're gaining another 2 tenths in that middle sector really. Could be a tough Grand Prix, this could be. Overall. It looks like Vettel does have a bit of the pace. Like, you know.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the super softs.
Again, we still have about 2 tenths, or 8 tenths, sorry. Just under half a second or a second of a gap to my teammate Bottas. Slight corner cut there, not much. Wouldn't gain too much time, but we are now back within a second of Vettel. So maybe Vettel's tyres starting to go off a little bit. Sometimes this can happen. Also, it could be fuel modes. My teammate getting hustled by Alonso right now, I believe it is. Van Dorn's all the way down the field, but my teammate's doing a good job to defend against him. I'm going to put fuel mixture slightly down now, just save a bit of fuel in this race. We don't want to go too heavy on the fuel burning. And yep, still 1.2, so gas all stabilising between that 1.2 region. So we have about a 2-second gap now to our teammate, which is quite nice. Just eases pressure of us, allows us to go off the Vettel more. That's certainly my best middle sector, or sorry, first sector. Almost pinch perfect so far this lap is. So only got one more lap on this stint, and then we'll be pitting for a fresh set of the super soft tyres. Vettel not really making a getaway right now. Slight mistake there from us. So Vettel 1.3 now up the road. We're able to make inroads on Vettel in this first sector, really the middle sector and the last sector, where we seem to be losing out. That's where we tend to lose out right now. Seems to be down this middle sector. You'll see what I mean in just a sec. Like, first sectors seem quite good overall. They don't seem bad. Sort of keep copy paste there with Vettel, but it's really now where we'll lose out this middle sector. Try different lines. I'm gonna try. Alright, in we come, but so is Vettel, so Vettel's just copy and pasting us, really. 5-second penalty for corner cutting. You having a joke? 5 seconds. I'm not accepting that, sorry to say, ladies and gents. Right. 5 seconds, wow. Right, into the pits then we come. Right, have to wait. And Vettel's been delayed even further, wow. So Vettel got delayed even further. Everyone saw that. Like, we got delayed slightly, but certainly not as much as Vettel did than that, as we now come out in P15. So effectively, have we just taken the lead of the race somehow? In them pit stops, we've certainly jumped Vettel, and he was leading. Like, providing we have a good outlap, I don't really see how we can be, you know, how can you put it? Caught, I guess? So yeah, I know, a bit of a messy outlap, but, you know. I reckon I'm running quite far down the field. Raikkonen's just in front, but yeah. But so far we've barely made a foot wrong now, I would say, so far in this race. But yeah, I feel a bit dirty after that. Because it's not the way you wish to win races. We've just gone wide there.
Okay, clear.
I feel like I want to give Vettel back his position, because I feel like, you know, Vettel... Oh, Vettel's out, ain't he? Vettel's slow. Something's wrong with Vettel, by the way. Vettel's out of the race, so that is Sebastian done and dusted then in this race. So yeah, but will we take the lead of this race actually, because my teammate seems to have made inroads but not enough to really threaten. But yeah, he has made inroads. Wow, very close he is to the back of me. Right, let's bring him in this race, win, I feel.
Gap to car in front is 1.7 seconds.
Feel like that's needed to do now. Bring home a nice race win. So just picking up that pace, so obviously that we will basically just leave Bottas now, have a healthy lead, bring in basically everything to the table now we are, or starting to. For whatever reason on this set of tyres, I'm just not feeling the grip as much. So, right now, sorry about the lack of commentating, but not really much to commentate on except the gap's 1.5 between Bottas and I. And the fact I feel like the grip is just not as great as what it used to be. I don't know, it's just saying, it's upset me a little bit. But we do the fastest lap as saying that. And Alonso immediately goes faster. I wonder whether in F1 2019 the fastest lap will be worth a point. I know in real life it is, but I wonder whether they'll implement that into the game. Who knows? I personally would like to see it implemented because it is an official rule. Top 10 gets 20 now 6 points effectively, and the man with fastest lap out of the top 10 drivers, depending if they've got the fastest lap, gets the point. But personally, I quite like the rule. It is a bit of a pointless rule, don't get me wrong, because it effectively means like the man in 6th place for the best team, you know, will effectively put on a qualifying tyre, turn up the car to its qualifying mode, and then for one lap, we'll probably just set the fastest lap. We saw it in Baku, effectively. And I think we saw something similar in China with Gasly. And it effectively, I'm not saying it kills the point of Formula 1, but it certainly doesn't help Formula 1, I don't think, personally. It doesn't add it doesn't make Formula 1 a more entertaining show. But yeah, nonetheless. But it certainly could be interesting in a championship, because it certainly could decide the championship if needed. You know, if like Bottas right now is leading the championship by 1 extra point over Hamilton, yet they've got the same amount of race wins and same amount of second places as well, so it is an interesting one. I think it's a bit of a controversial one, I personally think. There's an argument, I guess, for and for, not for the use of it. I'm personally not for, but yeah. Right, we've lost a lot of time on this lap, almost a second to be precise, compared to Bottas and Verstappen. In fact, 2 seconds, because look how much they've gained. Wow. They've really taken inroads out of me. Both of them. Are you having a joke? Is that really worth 3 seconds? Sorry about this flashbacking. Like, I've done it twice now in this race. But I just don't like the penalty system in this game. It really does suck. Like, it's nothing compared to real life, if you know what I mean. Like, the tyres are real, like, or feel good, and the grip levels are good until you get moments like that. But what I'm trying to say, like, in terms of real life, as in penalty wise, yeah, for some whatever reason we got so much understeer. As I say, I just haven't had the feeling in this stint all day. I'm gonna try and turn the engine a bit back up to its peak. Again, there's so much lack of grip. Luckily, I think that hot lap mode will save us just about. But it's horrible right now, the grip level on this car. I feel like I'm having to brake earlier than what I would like. And you know, Alonso, something's happened to Alonso. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, we're pulling out a gap again. That is a bit unusual. Oh no, sorry, Alonso is still there. I thought Alonso was like behind everyone. I thought he was way down the field. And I thought, what's happened to Alonso here? I thought, has he gone off or anything? Right, 2 laps to go. It's been a difficult, well, I wouldn't say a difficult race. I'd say it's been a much improved race compared to last time, that's for sure. But I'm going to say, you know, just 1 or 2 errors. But I'm happy with it. You know, I'm sad for Vettel in this race mainly. I feel like Vettel would have deserved it the most. But, look, not everyone can win. And we have done a very good job in qualifying. We did get 2nd place. We've held on throughout this race to 2nd place, and we've actually been decent in terms of our pace. Certainly stronger than those who are behind us right now, that's for sure. Like, when you compare me to my teammate in this race so far, I've certainly done a better job overall. And yeah, you know, I think we've done I've done a good job today compared to my teammate. Yeah, because even look at the gap now. I know he got back down to like 2 seconds, but it's already back up to 1.6 or something like that, which is still a very decent margin. Like, I honestly think if you're ahead of your teammate, then that's the main thing. Right. Again, now it's back up like to 2 seconds now, the gap, so yeah. I'm happy with this race win if we get it. It'd be a deserved race win. I'd have to say that.
We've been awarded a time.
Oh, for crying out loud. That is a joke. What corner did we cut? Is that really 3 seconds? Ugh. I just hate that penalty system. It really, really does suck. Certainly no 3 seconds to be won out there. I think they should change the penalty system, or try to, in F1 2019. To make it so it's not done on whether you leave a circuit, so it's done whether, you know, you gain any time on the car behind, and if so, how much time you gain. Penalty should be applied accordingly. So if you gain a second, give a second time penalty. And if you gain, I'm not saying, you know, then if you gain 3 seconds or 2 seconds, give 2 seconds, you know. A bit like what they do in GT, Gran Turismo. You don't get a penalty for what you haven't done. You get a penalty for what you have done. Okay. So if you gain, let's say, a second, you have to slow down by a second. So basically, you know, that would certainly hurt your race still. Like, you know, and I think that's a better way of penalising someone rather than giving them a 3 second time penalty, you know. And a 5 second should only be implemented in certain other areas as well. If you gain 5 seconds. Because if I was going to cut a corner, this is how I would do it. Like, I'd cut it there. I'd probably cut here, you know, as well, or try to. You know, there would be a decent place to cut. I'll try and cut also here. But there's a place that's probably more importantly where you can cut is here. Like, you know. Like, all my days, like, going out wide there doesn't see, that's what pees me off a little bit. You know, going out there doesn't gain you time going on to that bit. But, you know. But yeah, anyway, nonetheless. So we win the USA Grand Prix from our teammate Valtteri Bottas. That's a good 1-2. Brilliant. Then deserved, I don't know. Lucky for sure. A win better than the rest, of course. But yeah, I feel like Vettel, I'm going to dedicate that win to Sebastian Vettel. He deserved it more than us, I feel, today, for sure. But yeah, nonetheless, can't say I didn't deserve it, but yeah, I just feel like Vettel would have won that race if it wasn't for 2 factors. 1, his retirement, and 2, that pit stop that did him over. And yeah, But yeah, nonetheless, so we do increase championship lead then today by 34 points. So in fact, next time out, I do believe we can win the championship for the first time. It will be our first opportunity. It's unlikely. Now we secure also the Constructors' Championship as well. So yeah, we can win now the Drivers' Championship next time out, you know, in Mexico for a second time in a row. Back-to-back consecutive championships, of course. But, you know, of course, I still think it's highly unlikely. I feel it'll be Brazil before we win the championship. You know, we would have to, if I'm correct, we would have to score 18 points. So come home in second place. You know, to win the championship, which, don't get me wrong, it ain't bad, but yeah.
Still time for this to change?
So, just giving the answers there to the questions. Of course, as she said, championship looked like already been won. I wouldn't say so. We came back from a hefty haul of points last season to claim the championship in the last race of the season. So, it ain't over until it's over, but certainly looking increasingly unlikely for Alonso now. And there we go. Confirmation then. We have won the Constructors' World Championship for a second season in a row, which is fantastic. Then there. So yeah, 2 Constructors' Championships back to back then. We did it last season. We've done it again this season. That is fantastic, of course, coming from a personal aspect, because obviously what we want to achieve. And it looks like we're on course for another Drivers' Championship this season. And yeah, you know, that would be also another fantastic achievement. And what I'm wondering now, can we beat last season's tally of 329 points, you know, as well, going into the final 2 races? Let me just work out, if we got similar results to last season, would we beat it? So, obviously, I want to know whether or not we would beat it with similar results to last season or not. Because obviously, that'd be quite interesting. So last season we scored overall during the last part of the season 46 points. So let's plus on to 289. Pretty sure we would. Yeah, we would. We'd beat it by 6 points, that tally. You know. So yeah. Not bad actually, that wouldn't be 6 points. Our teammate I don't think can, unless he scores, I don't think our teammate could score or outscore his best from season 4, I believe, from last season. Let's have a look. So he got 320 last season. He would need 75 onto what he's currently got, which is 233. So 308. No, he would not outscore his tally from season 5. So yeah, it looks like maybe. Well, I think Alonso's outscored his tally. Let's have a look from last season. So Alonso last season got 204. So yeah, he's already outscored his tally. So really, I can get maximum. Technically, I can get to a maximum. Let's have a look. So I can get to a maximum of 364 points, which, would that be the highest point scoring season by any of us drivers? Yes, it would. So I could make this the highest point scoring season in this career mode. I did it last season, and I could replicate it this season by even more, by almost double the amount near enough in terms of hundreds, or 30 more or less. So yeah, there we go. So not bad so far then. So yeah, we'll now move on to obviously next race. You know, we'll just insert. We may have to take a penalty. We'll certainly put in a new turbocharger. I'm not sure about new MG UK. I think we'll put in the new MG UH. So we've got now enough. So we may have to take a penalty for maybe a combustion engine may take. Well, where do we take that? That's a question. And maybe a new kinetic MG UK unit. That would probably need to happen. But yeah, we'll see. We have replaced our gearbox now for final 3 rounds anyway. So yeah, we will see what happens there, obviously. And yeah, you know, we'll now put on some hyper soft tyres, of course. And I don't think there's actually any change in terms of, by the way, in terms of the, what you call it, for next season, I don't think there's anything changing exactly. So I think next season, if we did do another career mode, which we're not, and this is the final season, and I'm going to keep it to the final season, I will not be doing a season 6 of this. I'll be obviously doing a new fresh career mode on F1 2019 when that comes out. But obviously, I don't think anything's changed for next season in terms of anything. No, it hasn't. So effectively, next season, we could have a twice as better upgraded car. Like, we could have the best car by far on the grid. It'd be phenomenal, actually. If we did do that for next season, I don't know how fast we'd be going next season compared to this season. It'd blow my mind away, certainly. But yeah, nonetheless. So, obviously, see you all next time for another round. It'll be Mexican Grand Prix next time, of course. So, see you all then. We've already won the Constructors. Last season, we won both of them. Season before, we didn't win it, obviously. You know, drivers or constructors. But yeah, obviously, another Constructors in the bank, just now waiting on that Drivers' Championship. And so far this season, just to take us, I'll just recap some of the results that us as a team has had so far this season. So it all started off with a 3rd and 2nd place in Australia, followed up by a 1-2 in Bahrain and another 1-2 in China. So already fast out the blocks. Then a 1-9 for Bottas and myself in Azerbaijan. Then a 2nd and 10th in Spain. Then the next results were a bit topsy-turvy, with a 9th and 12th in Monaco, followed by a 3rd and 5th in Canada, followed by a 1st and 18th in France, a 1st and 2nd in Austria, which got us really back to where we should have been. Then a 12th and 6th in Great Britain. Then another race win for myself in Germany, with 5th for Bottas in Germany. Then a 5th and 4th in Hungary, a 2nd, 3rd in Belgium, a 1st 3 in Italy, a 5th and a 12th, in Singapore for Bottas this time, outscoring me, a 2nd and a 5th in Russia, a 1-2 in Japan, and a 1-2 in USA, of course. So, as I say, very decent result. Last time out, that was okay, that race win. It wasn't bad, it weren't the best. But yeah, see you all next time for another video. Have it easy.